What an excellent day for a podcast. Doing some collaborations with other horror fans on the social network. We'd like to introduce a special guest this week, OddSam. Welcome to the show, Sam. How are you?
Hello. I am good. How are you guys?
Doing
Great.
fantastic.
Good.
Oh, Sam, where would everybody know you from?
Well, on Twitter, I'm OddSam with a 0 instead of an O. Instagram, odd.sam. And I'm a little bit on TikTok, odd.sam with 2 M's. So spelled a little different each way, but that's kind of how people find me. It's just that general name. Because I'm a little odd, so I figured might as well.
Looking at the background in the room you're in, you don't seem to be odd. I mean,
Well, you guys think I'm normal because you know.
Because we're psychopaths.
Yeah, I keep this whole room as just my whole collection, everything. It's fun. It's my piece.
I'm very jelly. It looks very awesome. I've seen some of your videos on YouTube as well. So some of your collections that are out there are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wish I could show you
Don't know my
the
location
background here.
because people will rob me. I got some good stuff in here.
No doxing, no doxing.
Yes.
I do have a lot of stuff down here. You just can't see it. It wouldn't be good in the background, but
This always feels creepy to ask, but are there any topics or anything of the sort that's like off limits to you? Like we don't go like Howard Stern on you or anything. It's just
Honestly, no. Well, you know what? Actually, one, just because I don't want to deal with anybody on Twitter, is Scream 7 news. Anything
Okay.
Scream 7, I don't want to talk about just because
Good.
I feel like the people on Twitter will just pick it apart and go crazy, and I just don't want to deal with it.
yeah. Joe's our resident Scream fanboy of the show, so yeah, he tries to avoid spoilers and stuff too. So,
But other than that, no, nothing really.
but we are allowed to reference Dewey dying, right? That's
we
old news
spoil
by
the
now.
shit
It's
out
not
of
too soon.
everything. So.
If you want to see me cry, sure, you can do that. I'm just kidding. No, I don't care.
Yeah, if there's any movie that like we might reference or something that you don't want us to get into, because we just spoil everything, literally.
We have no filter when it comes to that. So,
Really, with that whole spoiler thing, if there's a movie that came out 10 years ago that I haven't seen and somebody spoils it for me, I don't care. I'm like,
you lost.
my fault 10 years ago, like, come on. So really, it doesn't matter. But if there's anything you guys talk about, like any movies that I don't know, I'll tell you, because so there's some older ones that I really haven't even seen, or like I watched The Thing for the first time this year, so that tells
okay.
you.
All right, you know what? I came clean to these guys. You seem cool enough. Just last week, I watched Jeepers Creepers for the first time.
Did you like it?
This is the exact same response I gave them when they asked. I did like it. However, he deserved all that shit, and that was frustrating.
Okay, I agree. Just with me, I'm kind of indifferent on that one because I'll watch it and then it will end and I'll just kind of be like, that's it. There's just, I don't know, there was just something missing. Like, yes, the creeper is so scary, but every time I watch it, I'm just left feeling like I just needed something else and I don't know what it is. I have to
And
get,
of course, that's one of many examples of separating the art from the artist.
yeah.
Because I know too many people that get bent like, I really love the movie, but that doesn't mean I condone what he did.
Right.
Yeah. I respect that. I mean, if you can separate that, because I can do that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
We're going
All
to spoil Scream 7 because we got that screener before they even shot it.
Yeah,
And Joe, you did talk with Melissa Barrera recently this year.
I did.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
I was a
All right.
part of her press day for Your Monster.
Oh, she's an angel. Oh my
She
God.
is amazing, truly amazing. She met my grandmother because some of my relatives actually live in Orlando because I grew up down there. So they met her at Spookala. And I told Melissa, because Melissa was here in Jersey in August, and I brought up my grandmother. I showed her a picture when she was hugging my grandmother. She remembered her, and we talked for like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh my
And
God.
that kind of started the whole getting her. We couldn't
Yeah.
get her on the show because she was filming, but she did like one long press day, and I was able to be a part of that.
I love that. And you can tell with her, she's just so genuine. Just everything.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So real and straightforward. She's great. Oh my God.
And she's a Loomis, so.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, another spoiler?
Hey, I appreciate your love for horror and the genre. Where did it start for you for the love of horror?
Well, my dad had a really big physical media collection, just not even just horror, just all DVDs all the time. And we had a room when I lived in New York that had all the DVDs. And I would just, go in there, take a couple of DVDs here and there. And somehow I ended up with the box set of Friday the 13th and the box set of all the Child's Play movies and the Friday the 13th remake. So I somehow got those in my grasp and I watched them, and those were the earliest movies that I do remember watching of horror. And I loved the Friday the 13th remake, and I think that was one of the ones that hooked me. So yeah.
So what age?
I want to say 10 to 13 is when I remember it starting.
Okay.
Strange.
That roughly falls in line with the rest of us, it seems like. It's always right around the double digit.
Yeah, I think I was around 8.
Yeah, sadly, I was like
Oh, wait.
5.
Oh, shit. All right. Never mind. We're the old farts that got into it late in the game.
Yeah, I had what was called a My Buddy doll. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I think I've heard of it.
It looked eerily similar to Chucky.
Yeah, around in '88 they made a movie about a haunted My Buddy doll.
Yeah, and that was the end of my Buddy doll. After I saw the first Child's Play, I literally threw it in the trash.
Oh no! Oh my god, that's great.
And the funny thing was, I met Fiona Dourif in March of this year, and I told her the story. And on the picture, she wrote "fuck the My Buddy doll," which was
amazing. Amazing. That's great. She's another one. She is so nice, so genuine, so fun. She's so funny. She's great.
Yeah.
I'm a little yeah. Now I feel like I should have like dyed my beard and all. She's like, yeah, my dad's huge into like, you know, the old like physical media, you know, like DVDs. And I lived in a time where Betamax was a thing. So
I will be honest, I don't even know what that is.
So, all right, you know VHS tapes?
Yes.
Okay, well, just before, somewhere around the same time, there was another video cassette, and it was called Betamax. And supposedly that was the one that was supposed to rule the world.
Oh my god.
And then it collapsed and VHS moved on. Yeah, see? So, but you're like, back in the days, like when DVDs were a thing.
Yeah, I grew up.
I'm going to go home.
Go into it. I grew up.
Have a nice cry.
He ruined me at a young age. So Dave and I are 8 years apart. So he's 8 years older than me. But he ruined me at a young age in regards to horror. I grew up going to the video store all the time, renting videos, and then I ended up working there as I went through college and stuff. So I'm glad it got phased out right as I was finishing college and then moving on. But I'll always cherish the physical media that I got to work with every day, and my love for horror. Just
I'm jealous. I think Blockbuster closed before I even got a chance to get a freaking job. So
that was the place to go. And imagine, I just wish I could have bought all of that media that was there when they sold off, because they were giving it away, and I was like, the stuff it goes for, I see these days, and I'm like, man, I could have had that copy and sold it, and how much money I could have made off that. But or kept it for myself. But anyway, so we just went to our 5th con this past weekend. As a group for this year, 2024. A lot of them we go to in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, you know, that area. So we had an opportunity to go to. It's a sideshow. It's like a smaller convention.
It's like a horror flea
market. Those are some of the best ones, though. The smaller ones, let me tell you, they're good.
Yeah, apparently it was intended to be like just a straight up like a horror based flea market type thing. Where it's just the vendor part of the conventions, but over the last couple of years now, it seems like more and more they're getting like a half dozen celebs to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So like Felissa Rose is pretty much at every one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a good time. Like when you want to focus on like who's selling what.
We love our merch, but this time around we got to meet Felissa Rose. She was there, so we got a group picture with her. We were anticipating. I booked us the group photo op with her in her camp outfit.
She had an in costume photo op.
That's so cute.
We thought, because have you seen how she does the end scene?
Yes.
Costume. Yes. So when we heard in costume photo op, we were like, oh well, fuck yeah. And so we went to meet her like at her table. So it was like almost 3:00 was the photo op. We ended up going to her table. It was like 11. And when I went up to talk to her, I said, yeah, we're coming back this afternoon for the photo op. But I said, I'm just so it doesn't get weird in the moment. I said, is it okay if I touch it? And she's like, wait, and she started giggling like, touch what? And I'm like, your dick. And she was like, oh, I'm not doing that one. I'm doing the camp, like the t-shirt and the shorts. And I was like, oh shit, like, that sucks. And
like by either camp photo op or dick photo op. when you
Well,
bought it.
it wasn't until like I got home that
That
I
was
made
my fault. I'll take that one on the chin.
yeah.
I got way too excited. I was like, oh my god, she's doing it. And she's gonna be.
You
there.
did. But now, I forgot when she does do that one though. She does specify final scene costume
Oh, okay. All
as
right.
opposed to just costume, where it's like the counselor again, the t-shirt
Yeah.
and shorts. But she was just like, oh, I feel so bad. She's like, no, I wish I had that. She's like, maybe I'll get a dick before then and all that. And she starts yelling across the room. She's like, I need a dick. Does anybody know where I can get a dick around
Oh
here?
my God,
And we're fucking cracking up.
great. She's
she's
one
like,
I haven't met at a con yet. I heard she's a gem.
Yeah,
She's more than a gem. She is a delight. She is so positive. She is so happy. This is the second time I've met her, and I don't know. Some people just don't compare sometimes. I just love her so. Like, she's just such an awesome person, and she's so happy and positive. I love that.
Yeah, her like early morning photo ops were supposed to start at 11, and I think we were at her table from like 11 to 11:25, just sitting there having a conversation with her, and she's just yeah.
Yeah, like
awesome.
she I mean, it does suck because then when we went for the photo op, we were on the other side of that someone had to go get her because she takes the time to talk to people.
I love that at conventions with celebrities. Like, and you guys, if you see me on Twitter, you know I love Matthew Lillard more than like everything, and
I've heard rumors.
Time, so he's literally just one of the greatest people. Just like Felissa, I mean, he takes the time. He's so genuine, kind, just a kind person and a kind heart. And I feel like sometimes with celebrities that could get rare because they're celebrities, but he's just always a kind, genuine person. He's top.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, even after the con closes down, like if he's got people, he's going to keep going. And I think I heard Skeet's the same way. He'll hang in there too.
Yeah. I think because they're all with the same guy, Sean Clark, the management company. So it's kind of like he's probably like, okay, you guys stay. I'll grab you after you're done with your lines, which is great. Which is a great thing because it shows they're not really there for the money. The money helps, but they're there to meet the fans and connect with everyone that they can.
Yeah, and it's again, we're on this side of it, but it's like it's not really a lot to ask. Like, look at look at the hundreds of dollars you've made off of us in your life. Like, just give us 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that and it does feel like more and more people are like that. It's becoming like the rarity where it's just like, all right, what do you have? All right, you want a picture too? Okay, smile. All right, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
More and more people seem actually interested in engaging.
Have you guys been doing cons for like a good minute?
Yeah.
Because you guys can tell then like which ones are the vibe they give off, which ones are there to just sign, okay, bye, and then the ones that take the time, talk to you. Some of them even like I think we can become friends with. It's so great getting to connect with them back because it's these people you see in these movies and you have been watching, and then they're just exactly how you picture them, amazing people.
Yeah. They're like humans.
Yeah, basically.
We also met Lauren Marie Taylor, who is from Friday the 13th Part 2. I don't know if you remember her with the brown panties.
Yes, I do.
So
she was the one that was going to make love to a disabled individual.
Yeah.
Was going to.
Have you seen it in A Violent Nature?
I've seen clips of it. I haven't seen the whole thing all the way through.
Okay.
I have seen the Hook clip though. That was wild.
Yeah.
Well, she had an appearance in that. She did very well, but a lot of people don't seem happy with the part she was given. Without going into spoilers, but she definitely had the most dialogue in the movie.
You can spoil it. It's fine. It's okay.
It was just a long dialogue in a car, and it kind of
had nothing to. Well, I mean, it obviously had something to do.
Yeah, it was just odd.
But it went from like walk through the woods, kill, walk through the woods, kill, walk through the woods, kill, and then there's a scene in a pickup, and it's just her. Yeah, she has like a 10-minute monologue, and then credits.
And that's it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I get that.
I mean, obviously, a few other things happen, but
and then it goes back to hibernation,
and it just seemed very out of place in it. But when we heard that she was going to be at the con, it was like, oh yeah, well we loved her on Friday the 13th, and then when we're looking up her credits, we saw in A Violent Nature, we're like, who the hell was she? Like she would, because it was all kids in the movie essentially, and it was like, who the hell was she? And oh, she was the one in the truck.
Yeah.
But so
when you see somebody in a movie and you're like, I think I know who that is, and then you look it up and you're like, oh my god, they're in one of my favorite movies. Okay.
Well, I didn't realize until I saw a meme today that the old man from Home Alone, the creepy old man with the shovel, I didn't realize he was the one that sold Christine.
Really? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Because
my
there was a
God.
meme of him sitting on the bench with Kevin and
Mhm.
saying like, "Oh, do you know what you're going to ask Santa for Christmas?" And he's like, "Not really." And he's like, "Well, I know where you can get a nice Plymouth." And I was like, "Wait a second." And I go on IMDb and I was like, "Oh shit, that was the same guy."
That's so funny. Oh my God. How did you guys feel about In a Violent Nature? Because I've seen mixed reviews, but it started off very like everybody was hyping it, and then all of a sudden everyone was turning on it. It was weird.
I think without now, I didn't hate the ending like most people seem to, but I understand why people hate it because it
Oh.
was such a tonal change from the rest of it. Even though again, it was just like blood and guts walking in the woods, blood and guts walking, but this was like so different. So like I said, I get why people hate it. The movie as a whole, I liked. It was a cool concept. Obviously, the practical effects were awesome. And the creativity of the kills were pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like Joe, where did your rating change for that
here
movie?
we
Yeah,
go.
so when Dave and I just so happened to go to the same like early screening of it, and it was trending toward my favorite movie of the year, in like the 9.5, 9.7 range. And then you did say we could spoil it. So
Yes,
basically he's trying to get a pendant that was stolen from him. It was like his mom's pendant or something. And the final girl essentially just leaves the pendant there.
For him to take back.
And then he goes back underground to like hibernate.
That's the ending?
But
and then right after that is the
Oh.
10-minute truck scene of
So,
the
yeah,
dialogue.
I think
So-
you're just waiting for the anticipation that this truck scene is going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like with
You're gonna
the
get that
final
one
girl,
last jump scare.
and it just goes on for like a 10-minute dialogue that really just goes nowhere.
Yeah, to me, I felt like he should have won. Like, the movie is set to be following the killer's perspective.
Yeah.
So have him win. Like, now that you see at the end of this movie, and I told them before, like, oh, you just give him back the pendant and everything's okay. Why would I want to see a sequel? If someone steals the pendant again, then we know, they could just give it back to him and the movie's
But
over.
they don't know that.
Like, so I was like, yeah. So it fell a long way.
So what was it, like a 9.6 to what?
To like a 3.7.
No, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
okay.
And it was all because of that last 10 minutes. He was just like, fuck that
Yeah,
movie.
and the hook kill was like 3.5 out of the 3.7.
Yeah. I mean, the kills were good.
Yeah, they were.
I was
They were
okay. It was a different view to watch that type of a movie, and I'm okay with that. It was drawn out, totally fine. It's different. What's his name? Kevin Nash? No, Chris Nash.
Chris Nash.
It was his like
Yeah.
first attempt to kind of come to horror and everything, which was, to me, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest movie of the year. Like, I kind of was like,
I mean, it was almost as
out of 10. If I had to rate something like that, like a 5.5, 6. It is what it is. I didn't mind it, for what it's worth. So
it was almost as good as Kyle Edward Ball's first attempt.
we're not talking about.
it was like a
please.
close second to that. So,
Um,
but yeah, so Lauren,
yeah, she was there. We got to meet her. I just remember her from growing up and watching her so many times in Friday 13th Part 2. So,
reminiscing of a time when brown panties were.
oh yeah, they were. but between that, meeting her, and then we very much promoted the movie Stream. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to watch.
Oh, I just recently watched that one. I loved that one. That was a good one. And
Well,
seeing
apparently-
Todd at the end was just. Oh wait, I cut that if it's a spoiler. I don't know if it is.
We
No,
can
no.
spoil everything.
No.
Now,
Okay.
we did like a 2-hour
Okay.
Frankenstein review of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What was your thought?
I thought it was great. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. I loved the kills. I liked the story and how it kind of flowed very well. Loved the cameos. I actually didn't know Howard Thornton was in it until the end, and that's one where I had to look it up and find out who he was, because he was one of the ones with the mask. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know where he is. But Tim Curry, Tony Todd, Felissa, like, it was just so cool seeing them in a different type of horror movie, So it was definitely 8 out of 10 for me.
it was just different enough to keep it interesting.
But we had an opportunity. We ended up falling into something that we didn't anticipate, I guess, over the summer, right before the movie Stream came out, about a month in advance, where we got to meet with the director, Michael Levy, his brother, Jason Levy. They do Fuzz on the Lens Productions. And from that point going forward, we've had on David Howard Thornton, we've had on Felissa, we've had Daniel Harris on, Dee Wallace, almost pretty much, I think, 7 or 8 of the cast members, because they're all icons in horror.
Mhm.
So
They're people we would have wanted, but now our ongoing joke is we're just trying to interview everybody in that movie. Even though most of the ones we got, like Danielle Harris, if Stream never existed, we still would have wanted to talk to Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
Same thing with David. We got to talk to him just before Terrifier 3 came out.
Okay, how did you guys feel about Terrifier 3? Because I'm still seeing mixed reviews about that one.
Have you seen it though?
Yes, and it was the only one out of the 3 that I really enjoyed. I have no other reason.
That's one I haven't heard yet.
Well, I think that Lauren really, her performance in that movie, Lauren Rivera, I think that it was phenomenal.
Oh, Oscar.
I was teetering with the second one, and I was like, do I like it? Is it too much? Because the bedroom scene, really, I was kind of like, I can't even watch this, and that's not normal for me. I can watch anything. And I was like, is this too much? Is it too gory? And then I was going toward the way of how most people are saying there's no storyline, there's no plot. But then I think 3 kind of sold it for me. There's obviously a storyline, obviously a plot. I liked the kills and Lauren's performance. And the way that her and David mesh together as like the killer and the final girl, I love their chemistry. I love it.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, what was it, iHorror or Bloody Disgusting? I think it was iHorror put out an article, like their 6 picks for who they'd want to take the torch for Freddy. And they actually put David in there. And I didn't think about it until I read that, but because I remember, I think when we were talking to David, I was saying like, you have all the charisma of Freddy without saying a word. So as soon as I saw that he was mentioned in this article, I'm like, I think I want to see, I don't know if he would be, I don't want him to be Dream Child Freddy's Dead Freddy, but if he could hone in somewhere between like 1 and 3, like funny, but still kind of dark, I think if he could pull that off, he would be a great replacement.
I agree. I do. I didn't see that article, but I do agree with that. I think that that's great. And I know that, the internet's saying that Freddy's hype is dying down. I don't agree with that personally. But if it is, I think Terrifier would be or Art the Clown would be a good person to take that torch.
Yeah. But, and that was the other thing, like you talking about the dynamic between Art and Sienna, it almost has like a Freddy Nancy thing going on there.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think Terrifier 3 for me, I loved it. I have Art. You can't really see him back here, but he's
kind of cut off.
He's dressed up as Santa back here with the glasses and everything. But went and saw it twice in theaters, and I loved it. It's one of my top ones for this year. I love the story. I thought it just came together so well done, and Lauren's performance, I think, was phenomenal. I think we all touched on that when we reviewed the movie, and it was just her acting phenomenal. And we just interviewed Samantha Scafidi, who played Vicky, and just that relationship, Art and Vicky, throughout the whole movie, I really enjoyed it. And she's also an awesome person too. So
actually showing how versatile he is. So you had the Freddie Nancy thing happening, but then you also got like a Chucky Tiffany thing with him and Vicky.
Yeah, I mean,
now I want to see David Howard Thornton play Chucky.
No.
I'm kind of like Kevin Smith with Ben Affleck. I just want to see David Howard Thornton to play everything.
Yeah, he'll be Batman next, right? But overall, we went to the convention. We met with the Stream guys. We've talked with the director. We got he just promotes a lot of our stuff that we do as far as because it's promoting a movie and such. So it was a nice time to get back with that group, meet and went up with them. They're just really nice, awesome guys that they want the indie horror scene to do well. So we appreciate that as fans, and they're so real, they're so down to earth, and they get it. They know what it's like. They were producers for Terrifier. Really cool. But overall, we had a blast this weekend. We were networking with fans. Just horror fans they're a different breed, and I'm sure when you go to conventions too, you feel like you're with your people.
It's one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
Yes, yes. I mean, I used to go with a big group of my friends, and this recent one I went to, Spookala in Florida, I went by myself just because, schedules, people couldn't make it, and I didn't ever feel like I was alone. It was just crazy because, being a female going 3 hours away to a convention, I was a little nervous, but I just didn't ever feel scared or whatever it was. I felt like I was literally just with a bunch of friends. It was amazing.
Yeah, once you get through the door, like that's everyone's safe and happy place.
And even the vendors, the vendors are so cool, and like a lot of them, when you continue to see them, they just are like, hey Sam, oh, that's so cool, you're buying something else, like they're just so nice.
That's awesome.
Everyone, it's just so amazing.
That's the one that got rescheduled due to the hurricane, is that correct?
No, that was Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire, okay.
Yeah, that one I didn't make it to the rescheduled show, but I was really hoping to meet Ashley Lawrence, and she couldn't make it, so I wasn't so sad about that one.
Oh, ask her about her art.
Ashley?
Yeah, we have a couple funny stories about Ashley.
Oh my god, I think she's one of the coolest people. I haven't met her yet, but I think she's one of the coolest people.
Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah, she
really
is.
Nice.
She's very nice. She's very shy. But she has a love for art that kind of takes her out of that shyness, and she can be herself. And she showed us a lot of her art, including masturbating baboons, which is interesting.
And we were all just kind of nodding like, oh, okay, that's a thing. And she's just like, I just thought that was a funny idea, so I painted it.
Oh my
and
god,
I want to buy a copy of it. I'll buy a big 18 by 18 canvas of that.
She should sell it at her table when she does conventions.
Yeah.
She was thumbing through her phone like, hey, if you want to buy this, let me know, and we'll sell it and whatnot. So
yeah, because she had like a registry book at her table, and we're like, is there a funeral nearby? Like, what's going? Like, we're like, what's with the book? And she said, oh, this is for my mailing list for my artwork.
Oh.
So we're like, oh, you do art too? And she pulls out her phone and she's passing it around to us. She, had a bunch of photos of the things she did. And then she came to the baboons masturbating, and these guys all saw it. I didn't get to get a glimpse at it, but I'd still buy it sight unseen to say I have a baboons masturbating by the Ashley Lawrence.
Oh yeah, we're definitely buying something that's going to be made by somebody. We're going to hang it, but
yeah, she was like really cool. She was funny, but yeah, but still very timid. So it was like an odd mix, but I mean, she wasn't an asshole, so I'll take a little timid over.
Yes, yeah.
Being like, what do you want?
Yeah. You see, I'm the opposite at conventions because, when you're seeing people you love, I get very energetic and happy. I think I scared Mikey Madison when I met her at Spookala because it was her first con. So, I went up to her. I was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so great. You're so talented. And she was just like, I was like, oh my God, I scared her. I scared Mikey Madison.
Wow.
So I get it,
Hey, I think that's what we all do. We get so excited sometimes we're like dumbfounded, right? You're like,
yes.
It was like Marley Shelton. Joe and I met her this past summer. She was at one of Monster Mania. And we met her, and I remember her from The Sandlot as the lifeguard. So as a teenager, she was like, the girl that I always fantasized about and whatnot. So then I'm like, yeah, I loved you in Sandlot. Can you sign this? Thank you. I'll take a picture. Goodbye. And I'm like, Joe, did I even say 2 words to her? He's like, nah.
You see, it's good to have the friends around you though, because then they can validate like did that actually just happen?
Yeah. Or we'll throw each other under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, JC was actually supposed to go to Spooky Empire, the same one that got canceled. He was flying down there, and then when they canceled it, he ended up coming down with COVID, allegedly. But
yeah, he got COVID, and he was like, shit, I'm going to miss it. And then they're like, hurricane's coming through, they're postponing. And he was like, yeah, I mean, oh, really? But same deal. He couldn't, he was already planning a trip with his wife, so he wasn't able to make the makeup date either. But I think he still has a voucher, so he's thinking about going
next year.
I think he said next year they're doing it on Halloween, so he's trying to arrange his trip then.
So
I have a friend actually that flew from the UK because with having 2 of them here, Spookala and Spooky Empire, they did it back to back. So he flew in for one and he stayed the whole week, and then the hurricane hit and he was like, well, I'm in the hotel safe at least, but the UK.
That's awesome. You get somebody coming from another country over here for a horror convention like that.
We've talked to Canadians.
Oh, well,
we haven't gone completely across the pond, but we got someone from little more up there.
So Sam, some of your highlights from the horror convention scene this year?
Oh my God. Well,
all right, what would you say your weirdest interaction was, or most awkward?
I don't think I had any awkward ones this year besides Mikey. I think Mikey was this year. I was just kind of like, super energetic, and she was just kind of very reserved, which I totally get, not blaming her at all.
She wasn't prepared for your energy.
Yes, and I mean, when I sense that with someone, I'll tone it back and I'll just, be very calm. I don't think any awkward, but one of the best ones I will say, because it's the first one that popped in my head, was Flashback Weekend Chicago. I went for the Cabin Fever cast. One of my favorite movies. Love Eli Roth. Love that whole cast. And they were every single one of them, including Eli, just so nice, so welcoming, so fun. And then, it was host hotels. So you see them walking around, you might get in an elevator with them. And every time me and my friend, we saw Eli or the cast, we'd be like, hey, like we've been friends for 10 years. So that was cool. I got to talk to Tom Atkins a lot, not even at his table, just, in passing and stuff. So I think host hotel helped that one a lot, being so great for me. I met, I'm blanking on his name. He voices the cat in Coraline. Keith David.
Keith David.
He was so sweet, because I have not met him before, but he was the nicest. So I would definitely say Flashback Weekend. Spookala in Florida, they're my faves. They're always great, always so organized. They have the craziest guest lineups. Howie Mandel was amazing. I literally have Gizmo tattooed on the back of my leg, so getting his autograph from that show was crazy. So definitely have to mention that one as well.
Oh, well, I got the matching stripe then, right?
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, that is amazing. I actually got to hear him do the voice too. He did a panel, and I think somebody asked him to do the voice of Gizmo, and he did. It was like a revival moment for me. I was like,
isn't he like a germphobe?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's very.
Yeah.
Was he very?
He wasn't actually at a table. He was in like a back room. And then he was doing just kind of like you drop your stuff off at a table and they'll bring it to the back room for him.
Makes sense.
So, and then he just did the panel, but like the photo ops, it was kind of, I don't know if you guys saw them, but it was a row of chairs. So the person sat in the chair and then he stood like behind you. So he wasn't really like touching anybody.
Okay.
Good stepping stone for him as a germaphobe.
Yeah. And it's cool that he's still willing to do that, because, he could just be like, no, that's too many people to be around. But the fact that he's putting forth the effort to make something work, like, I don't know, because I've always been a huge fan of him. You are aware he was like a huge stand-up guy in the 80s, right?
I learned that during the Spookala show, yes.
Okay.
I knew him as Gizmo and then the Deal or No Deal guy. That's how I knew him.
Okay, yeah, everybody I know knows him from Deal or No Deal, obviously, AGT, and
Bobby's World.
Bobby's World, which was just a more childlike version of Gizmo.
Yeah.
But like Bobby was one of his characters in his stand-up, but I remember in the 80s, like, he was a big stand-up guy. I actually got to see him live once. I think it was just before he shaved his head. I was like yelling at, because he's pretty good with crowd work, and when I went to see him, I was like pretty much in the back row, and I yelled something out because I was drunk and I was trying to embarrass one of my friends, and he was just like, oh, excuse me, what did you say? And so I repeated myself, and then he's always had a good memory in that, like, this was like in the first 10-15 minutes of his set, and then at the end of his set he made a callback to like, oh yeah, Dave, any updates on whatever it was I was yelling at? And he was just like, is everything good with your friend? Okay, we're good. So he was always, so to see that he still is out there doing shit, and again, like, knowing like his issues, the fact that he's still willing to get out with fans and all that is pretty awesome.
I'm gonna add that to my bucket list. Get called out by Howie Mandel. That seems amazing.
Yeah, he's another one, because Chappelle came back. I heard Eddie Murphy took another crack at stand up. So yeah, that'd be cool if he returned, and even if he did like one quick tour.
That would be cool.
Because and he was good. Like, he did some props. He was always great at like dirty dad jokes.
Oh, like, that's my fave. Are you kidding?
That was kind of his thing. He dabbled in props, but he wasn't like full Carrot Top or anything like that. Yeah. But he was just a good mix, and he was just genuinely funny. So yeah, if I wish, like, that would be great if he could just come around one more time and do like a one-off tour, or even if he did like a Netflix show or something. But
or even at the con, because I know Spookala does. Jamie Kennedy did stand up at Spookala, and I mean, if you're on the stage, you're not contacting. Yeah, Jamie Kennedy does stand up. So he did a show at one of the Spookala shows that he was there. So they have to do the shows and stuff, like they do the concerts. I think, who is it? Corey Taylor's going to be there their next show, and he's doing a performance. So
yeah, because I know when they have musicians at these, like, depending on the venue, that they'll do like a little like mini concert or something like that. But yeah, I never thought of like stand up at a convention.
He has to do baby steps. Give Howie baby steps. That's what he has to do.
Hey, this is pretty big for him, right? In meeting, being out in large crowds too.
Yeah.
How often do you go out of state for conventions and such?
I used to do like 2 or 3 a year. But I've kind of limited myself to one just because there's so many emerging in Florida. So I'm like, do I really need to travel out of state for them? But for the rare ones, like, the Cabin Fever crew together, I couldn't pass that up. I had to do that. I would fly out of state for Bruce Campbell. I've been trying to meet Bruce Campbell for a good minute, and
same here.
So
and after losing, and even though he's much younger, like having lost Tony Todd, I realize, I can't bank on too many of these, legends in the genre. Like, I'll catch him next time. Like, we got to get on that like now.
Tony was supposed to be at Flashback, and I remember he was so interactive with fans on Twitter, and I remember messaging him and being like, "Hey Tony, like so excited to see you. I'm making you a friendship bracelet. Like I got the costume photo op," and he was like, "Oh, so excited to see you." So that was a hard one. That was probably the hardest celebrity death that I've done with. Tim Curry will be next for me because I adore that man. That was another one. I flew to New York to go see him. He was a no-brainer.
Okay.
Had to go see him. So
how long ago was that?
I believe that was last year's New York Comic Con. So I didn't go to the most recent one. So last year I flew there and I saw him. Because I had to, because you never know, like you said, so I had to go.
And I mean, it kind of feels like he's been on borrowed time. That's why it was so special with Stream when they threw him in there, and they were saying like it's his first on-screen appearance in like 15 years. But I didn't realize, like I heard he got, he was in pretty bad shape, but I didn't realize he was still out doing the occasional con. So
I think it's very occasional with him though, because since New York Comic Con last year, I haven't seen another one, which I get completely.
Right.
He's had a full enough life. He doesn't owe anybody anything. So any chance we could get the bump into him is just a bonus.
Oh yes, that was like I was like, "Hi Tim," like voice shaking, whole body shaking. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think we had an opportunity to meet Bill Moseley and Doug Bradley. I mean, Bill Moseley, he had a very severe accident, where he got hit at one of the.
He got run over.
He got run over. Post about that. It was recent, kind of, right?
Yeah. And we didn't know whether he was going to come to the convention. He ended up making it. He's just high spirits, and he's doing well. But you just never know when you're, a lot of these actors and actresses that are getting up there. That's why I was like, I'm not passing on Doug Bradley because I don't know how often. I mean, he always comes to Jersey all the time, and it just was like, yes, that guy's an icon, So.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the way I live just in my life, like I know that Melissa Barrera is young. She could pass away tomorrow. I mean, I'm not like praying for it, but I mean, she could get in a horrible car accident. It's you never know. That's my thing with it. If there's somebody I really want to see, I'm just like I got to do it. I have to. So I try to limit to one, but if I need to do two, I will do two a year.
Oh, nice.
What is it? March or May? With the what is it? The Jersey Con? Or Monster Mania.
Blair Witch?
Yeah.
It's March at New Jersey Con. They're having the whole Blair Witch cast. The anniversary.
They got all three of the original Blair Witch Project cast.
Oh my! You guys are going?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't bought tickets, but we're definitely there in spirit now, and hopefully we'll actually physically be there when it happens.
Yeah. Did you guys go to Monster Mania in Pennsylvania that Eli Roth and Ty West were just at?
Yeah, we actually I was like towards the end of the night. It was a long day because we were Shawnee Smith. I think Dave was in line for like 3 hours.
Yeah, and I figured with so many people from Terrifier there, like most of the lines there were pretty busy, but I figured everyone's here to see Terrifier. Is Shawnee Smith going to be that bad? And in a sense, her line wasn't that long, but it was really slow. Yeah, and it was almost literally 3 hours. Waiting to see her, and it was awesome. And apparently, I mean, not only was she nice and she did talk a little bit, but she was very meticulous when she signed things.
Oh yes. Oh my God. When I met her at Spookala, she did different shades of pink for each line that she did for me. It was amazing.
Did you get the heart too, or am I special?
Yes. Well, see, I asked celebrities for hearts, so I beat her to it. I was like, "Can you draw a heart?" She was like, "I was going to do that anyway." I was like, "Okay, that works."
Oh, so you probably started that trend. She was like, "Hey, this is a good idea."
I'm not claiming that, but I like to ask my faves for hearts because I think it makes the autograph cute, and I don't intend to resell my autographs. So I'm like, who cares? Give me some hearts.
Yeah, we actually got in line to see. I was like, "Hey guys," I'm like, "I got some cash left over. We should go meet Eli." And then we got up there, and I think there was a guy there with like 1,000 items getting signed, which sometimes gets quite annoying. Like
those are my favorite people.
Yeah. So that's when we're like, we had a long day. I think we were on our feet for like 10 hours, and we're like,
Oh,
all right,
God.
I can't stay any longer. I got to go sit down at that point. But yeah, Ty West was there, Eli Roth, Shawnee Smith, uh, Daniel Roebuck. We got to meet him. A lot of the Terrifier cast was there. Aliens had a reunion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw.
Furlong and James.
Gun.
No,
McAvoy.
no. The what's his name from Detroit City Rocks? I think I might have mentioned.
Oh, James
DeBello. DeBello. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
He was there. So they had a little mix of everybody. But yeah,
I was going to go to that one, and then when Gina Davis canceled, I was like, "There's not enough people to get me there." So.
Oh,
Yeah.
but Alec Baldwin made it.
Alec Baldwin was there.
One on my list as well that I've been trying to get. I have a Beetlejuice poster that's signed by Gina. I think she was another one I scared because I was just full on makeup streaming down my face, crying when I met her. So that was great.
I think that if she was going to show up, that was probably one I would want to meet, just because she's a lot of my childhood. The Fly, Transylvania 65000, Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah.
But even
the Jim Carrey vehicle, Earth Girls Are Easy.
But I just saw her. I watched Blink twice. Did you see that?
Gina's in that one?
Yeah.
Wait, that's with Channing Tatum, right?
Yes.
Is that
I didn't even know she was in it. No.
No, I didn't either until right now. Is that movie? Is that about the domestic abuse? Is that what that movie's about? Okay, because I heard about that one. I haven't seen it though. I'll give it a try. I didn't know she was.
I almost clicked on that.
It's very good.
I really liked it.
Yeah,
I was very
good.
surprised. My wife and I, we watched it, and we were like, afterwards, we were like, wow, that was pretty decent. It's kind of, it reminds me like Get Out meets The Menu in some ways.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved both those movies. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was just like, oh, let me try this movie. I think it's a thriller, but I felt like it was more horror. And Haley Joel Osment's in it, Christian Slater. Like, they have a pretty decent cast in
Had a
there.
bigger cast than Stream.
Right. But yeah, that was last month. We went to Oaks, PA for the Monster Mania, and our goal is eventually in the next year or so, we actually want to do our podcast live from there.
Yeah, that's our next
people.
goal, to get a table and just.
That's so cool. Do you guys leave like stickers and cards around the cons? 'Cause I see those sometimes. People will leave their stuff.
We haven't upgraded the stickers yet.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, like I haven't quite, I'm past my prime of vandalism. So I think even 10 years ago, I would have been like,
Yep.
Everywhere.
but we do have a ton of cards that we just,
we're very tasteful about it, because it's like, I don't force it. If we're having a good conversation and I like a lot, I'll say, hey, if you have an opportunity, listen to our show and let's talk. And we get a lot of response and conversation with people just being us and just having regular conversations in live. Because you're sitting there, like I said, at the conventions, those are your people. Those are the ones you make relationships with, long-time friendships. I know there's people I've met at conventions that I message on social media and such. So I think that is very cool in itself. We're actually going to Blairstown this Friday for Friday the 13th, where they filmed the original Friday the 13th, the first one, 1980.
Oh my God. That's like the perfect day. That's amazing.
Yeah, because we went there, like a month ago?
Yeah, just to kind of
reminisce. Yeah, just to hang out in town and all. And we were talking to one of the shopkeepers there, and he went in and had a few things on display. Apparently a lot of like fans and all will, sometimes people from the movie will stop by. Other times it'll just be fans. They make their own little art and all. So he's got the glass showcases, and we're looking around, and obviously he knew we were tourists there for one reason. So he already had like all the stories for everything there. He was kind of given his history with the town. Apparently, didn't he say he was like a kid?
Yeah.
And he was like hanging out and watching when they were shooting the original movie. Now he owns a store right on Main Street. But yeah, the more and more he was talking, now I'm the shy one of the group. So when we're all talking to someone, I kind of just migrate towards the back. But I'm sitting there thinking like, that'd be pretty cool if we could like record here. And I'm thinking about it, and I forget which one you guys brought it up, but someone was just like, yeah, that'd be cool if like, if we did a show here sometime. And a guy was like, yeah, you guys could like camp out right in my front yard. And he was explaining how the years with more Friday the 13th, like that's the town's most lucrative year. He said just the whole town gets flooded every Friday the 13th, which I didn't get to ask, like, yeah, but do you get a crowd on June 13th ever? Or is it just on the Fridays? But whatever. So yeah, like there was some back and forth afterwards, and yeah, so well, by the time this comes out, it'll be in the past, but yeah, December 13th, 2024, we'll be broadcasting live. But yeah, it should be a good time, although I feel like more people will show up if we went, I don't know, in the summer.
Yeah.
Especially since we're broadcasting from an ice cream shop.
It's only going to be a
In
balmy 38 degrees on
Yes.
Friday, so we are prepared expect the worst, and as regards to the weather. But hey, we just want to connect with fans that love horror, and
That's why I even made my Twitter in the first place, honestly, because I was just, I was, funny enough, I was actually at the hospital with my dog, and I was in the car waiting for them to take her, and I went, I love horror. Why am I not, making a Twitter and connecting with people? And ever since then, I met my two best girlfriends in my life from Twitter, from horror. So it's just been amazing since I even made my Twitter. It's just been a great journey, honestly.
And for you, I know you're a huge Scream fan. Is Scream your number one franchise? Is that your movie? Is that?
It was for a long time. However, I think with all of the, 1 through 6 is my favorite franchise. I'll say that. I think Saw is a close second, very close second. Yeah, that's really it. I mean, I would say Hellraiser because I love the original, but the 3 and on didn't really do it for me, so I want to count Hellraiser out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm trying to get any of these guys. Like, I would love to do a run through all the Hellraisers, because actually there's only 1 or 2 that I don't like. I wouldn't even go as far as saying I hate, but I do find to be quite boring. It was probably the ones that were just regular spec scripts, and they're like, well, maybe if you put Pinhead and the box in here, it would make a great Hellraiser sequel.
I agree with that 100%.
But some of those later ones, I'm not saying they're good quality movies, but I kind of enjoy. But no sane person will actually watch beyond 3 or even Bloodlines. So
I grew up, I think 3 might have been the first one I saw. That was the MTV one.
Yeah.
And as me, I remember Doug Bradley being dressed up as Pinhead for the MTV Movie Awards. And,
oh my God, really?
And I told him that story.
93?
It was like 93.
Oh my God.
I told him the story when I met him this summer, and he was like, wow, I remember that. And I was just like, that was my first interaction. It was like, who is this guy on MTV? And then I ended up seeing the movie, and then, I think I'm good with 1 through 4. For certain, 3 and 4, like, they have certain meaning to me, but yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I get that.
3 was goofy. 4 is very 90s.
Yeah.
Very early 90s. Yeah. But yeah, I would almost go as far as to say, yeah, 1 through Bloodlines is a good franchise. But again, I like the later ones too.
Did you guys like the movie that they put out? I liked that one a lot.
Which one?
The Hellraiser on Hulu.
Oh, the remake-ish, whatever.
Yeah,
the one with Jamie. The hell's her name?
Clayton.
Yeah, Jamie Clayton. Yeah, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I think I only saw it the one time though when they first released it.
I only watched it twice, honestly, but I remember like really liking it. And I love the Cenobite designs. All of them are just crazy.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Yeah, and I thought like she was. It was the first time that there was, someone other than Doug playing the role where it was almost as good. I mean, I'm super biased. Like, that's like saying Jackie Earle Haley. Like he did a good job with Freddy, but Robert owns that character so much, and it didn't help that like, the script and the execution of the movie was, but Jackie didn't do a bad job. Same thing, like, but this was actually a good movie, and yeah, but I thought Jamie did like a really good job with that. Like, was the first one to even hold a candle to Bradley.
I agree 100% because even going into it, I was like, Doug is Pinhead. You can't, and so that just set it back as soon as I started the movie, and then I was like, wait, Jamie's really good. Like, this is great. So
yeah,
I love it.
It was kind of creepy too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the whole thing with the, where you actually got the different configurations of the Lament configuration.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little addition to it all.
I still haven't pulled myself to watch it yet.
Yeah. No, it's good.
I know everybody has a hate, like, oh, I'm not watching the women's Ghostbusters, and I ended up watching it, and I was like, okay, this isn't, bad. It's like different, when sometimes it's just like, I'm going to eventually watch it. It's just, I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, like I said, as soon as it came out, I watched it, and it was, Like, and that with this coming up now, I just realized, like, shit, I got to go back and watch it again. So thanks for the reminder.
You're welcome.
Is there any special anything that stood out for you for 2024 maybe?
Movie wise,
Yeah. What's your highlight so far?
definitely Abigail and 100% The Substance. The Substance was top tier, 10 out of 10. Literally, probably one of just the best movies I've seen in my life, actually. It was so good. Also, Longlegs. I know everybody loved Longlegs, but that one took me a couple of watches to really appreciate. And I love the movies that you have to watch it a couple times so you start noticing things. And just that eerie feeling that Longlegs was always like lurking really got me. So those were probably, I would say, my top 3 for 2024.
Yeah, I think I definitely need a second watch for Longlegs. You know, when we reviewed it, I was explaining, like, I accept it's a well done movie, but it didn't grab me or didn't necessarily blow me away. But I do feel like it's one of those, maybe a second watch, something will click differently. I think it was because I went in having no idea what it was. It was just Nick Cage plays this creepy looking serial killer. Like, that was all I knew. And I'm totally fine going in knowing nothing, but it was just enough out there that I think the whole time I was trying to figure it out as it went along to fully appreciate it. But like I said, I thought it was a well done movie.
Yeah, that's how I was the first watch. And then when I watched it, the second time and third time, I was like, oh, okay, I see it. I get it. I see, what everyone's talking about. So that was a good one.
Not to mention, we love annoying the shit out of everybody with, "Mommy!" Whenever we get a chance to start yelling that.
Yeah, JC is known for that, especially on that episode where we reviewed it. It's just, I think we all got excited with Nicolas Cage in that movie. And if you didn't know it, like, see him his name in the credits or knew who he was, you wouldn't even recognize him in that movie.
Oh, for sure. The makeup and everything they did with that was perfect. Like,
yeah, knowing it's him, you could see it. But yeah, if he would have gone by a pseudonym for that, like, that would have been great. Like, oh my god, this guy
done that would have been so cool.
Like, oh my god, this is like Nick Cage over the top, and then later on you find out, oh, that's why. But The Substance, all right, I'm glad to hear other people liked it. I don't know if I would go full on 10 out of 10, but I definitely liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Like, I would say right now, probably in the ballpark of like a 7.
You see, I'm very easy with my movie reviews. Like, something can just entertain me for like an hour of the 2-hour movie, and I'm like, perfect, 10 out of 10. So.
So there's a few I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned obviously Lauren Lavera's performance in Terrifier 3. And to me, this year, 2024, I thought the women's acting performances throughout a handful, like Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate. I thought Naomi Scott in Smile 2.
Oh my god, amazing.
Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling. To me, that's my favorite horror movie of this year. I thought she was absolutely incredible in that movie. Nell Tiger Free in The First Omen.
I was just gonna say, whoever.
Yeah, there were a lot. Like, even Demi Moore. Both of the ladies' performances in The Substance were great. Like, you don't normally go to horror for acting, and I thought the ladies just took it to a whole nother level this year.
Lauren Marie in A Violent Nature.
Yeah. But I'm probably missing a couple more. But yeah, a lot of standout performances.
Even what was her name? Lily from
in Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, that was that was another good one. That one's in my top 5 for this year. Oh, then I will say Terrifier 3 is in my top 5 as well. I'll give it that.
And not that it's that important, but to go back to your original question about thoughts on it, I'm still not sure if I love all 3 of them for their own reasons, but I'm still not sure if I like 2 or 3 more. They're all like a minimum of a 7 to an 8 for me, but like I said, whether or not 3 is my favorite, I'm not sure yet. I think I just got to binge the trilogy again.
I feel like maybe wait to binge it until 4 comes out. I feel like at that point that you can fairly just tell 1 through 4 which one's your fave. Because I think I saw, don't quote me on this, but I think I saw that 4 was going to be the last one.
Yeah, most likely.
That's the goal. Of course, a lot of people are crying about it. I am one of those. But if he has a solid closer for this, I'd rather him go out on top and want more.
Right.
Because we don't need another 3 from Hell. So.
What's wrong with 3 from Hell, Dave? Come on.
Everything.
It wasn't Devil's Rejects.
I know.
By a long shot.
No, that was a really good sequel, too. So,
again, 3 from Hell, it was just, we didn't need that.
Right.
As bad as I wanted to see more after Devil's Rejects, that was the perfect ending for those characters.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, you saw Strange Darling?
I did. I liked that one just because it it does that whole throw you off type thing. And then you start to realize, because I was, as I was watching it, I was like noticing things and I was like, oh no, because that's not, what the movie's about. And then it turns out it is. So I love that part of it. And Kyle is great. Willa and Kyle, again, like when you can find two actors that can work together like that, so well like that, it's just, it makes the movie in my opinion. So.
Okay, we just learned this in the last couple days. Kyle.
What's his last name?
Oh, I think it's Gallner. I might be saying it wrong. Gallner, one of those. Because I know he just clarified it on Twitter how to say it, and I don't remember.
Yes, it's Gallner, and I've been saying Gallner forever.
Okay.
I feel like everybody's been saying Gallner, and so yeah, I guess he's had it because then Joe came to us one day. He's like, he set the record straight online. Stop fucking saying Gallner.
Yeah, Joe's been kind of prepping us, hopefully in a future state, that something may or may not happen. That get the name right now, just in case he does come on. So, so you saw Smile 2 as well?
That was the most recent 2024 one that I watched. Yes.
Which Kyle kill is better, Strange Darling or Smile 2?
I want to say Smile 2 because I like how they continue the story in that way. I like how they just flowed from 1 to 2 like that. I didn't want to see him go out, but
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that just happened. But yeah, I actually enjoyed Smile 2. I just kind of wish I was like, man, if you just took this and put this in place of the first one, like I didn't hate the first. A lot of people hated the first one, I think, or didn't really care for it, but I was okay with it. Yeah. I just think if you took 2 and put it, you didn't need to make another one. Like I felt like that's awesome. Like I could end with that.
Maybe made a 2.5 hour movie and just merged the best parts of one and then blend into 2.
Explained everything and they kind of reintroduced it because I think it was a new group too. You're trying to invest in the new viewers watching it, so they explained it well. How that evolves. That character that becomes tormented and end up dying in front of the next person and such and so forth. So I thought they did a good job.
I feel like you can continue to just use that. If every movie's the same quality as Smile 2, I feel like make 15 more of them, But at a certain point, I think the movies start to get, you can tell that they're all getting tired of making them type of things. So,
Well, now they controlled it was one person at a time, right? Now it's like, all right, well, was that whole, arena affected by
Well, I saw actually today, I don't know who posted it, so I don't know if it's a reliable source, but it was that apparently Sky was looking at one person, when that happened. So I guess the next one will be whoever she was looking at. So I don't know.
Okay.
So we're not getting a zombie Smile outbreak then?
Unfortunately, probably not. I would want that, but no.
Well,
that would be. I'm assuming this is. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm assuming this is something that happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So maybe they're going to leave everyone hanging for the opening of 3, and you're just going to see this horde of smiling people coming out of.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it because I was like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. And I think it came out right around Terrifier. And I was on such a high from Terrifier that I was like, okay, nothing's going to top. And I really went in there. I'm like, wow, I really enjoyed Smile 2. That was really awesome.
What would you say your favorite kill is to this point?
Altogether for 2024?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, 2024 we'll go with.
I'm going to say, did you guys see Abigail? Because I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah.
I want to say, who does Dan play in that? I forgot his name. Whoever Dan Stevens plays in that, his death was probably my favorite. But I might be biased because I love vampire movies and I love vampires, everything about it. So I'm gonna say Dan Stevens' character in Abigail.
He plays Frank.
But I would say number 2 would be The Substance. For sure. I'm totally blanking. You guys are putting me on the spot. What's the monster's name in Substance? I just rewatched this. Monstro Elicisu, whatever.
I don't.
That's close number 2. That was my butchering of the name. But yeah, those are my top 2. Do you guys have any memorable ones that like first thing that pops in your head for 2024 kills? Who's the most memorable?
In a Violent Nature.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of standout ones. That's definitely one of them.
Stream with the tic-tac-toe will always
that was
stick
amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Terrifier, we actually had a few. I think.
Splitting his head and open it like
with
a
the razor blade.
Yeah, that really awesome kill that Vicky had to upstage, so a lot of people forgot that it happened. She had to go and outdo Art in that moment.
Glasturbating, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, best of the year though. Shit, and we're gonna have our end of year talk in about a week, so I guess I really better think about this. But there was a lot of good standout ones.
Yeah, I think for me, In a Violent Nature was different. It was to see that after I kind of saw some of the people online, their reaction to it. I was like, really, is this going on for that long? And the squishiness and the sounds that it made with it was like, okay, this was pretty good.
Wait, was Slaughterhouse this year or last year?
Last year.
Shit. All right, never mind. Well, there goes that one. That had a really good kill in
How
it.
would work that one's been on my watch list for a minute, and I just keep like scrolling over it, and I don't watch it. Should I give it a try?
Yes, once.
Yes,
I have
definitely
one
once.
I have
Once.
never watched a Sharknado, but I guarantee this was better than a Sharknado.
Okay.
You never knew you needed to see a sloth on the internet until you watched this movie.
All right. So if that came out last year, I would say it was definitely, possibly a top 3 jump scares of last year. There's a kill in that one that, because just on the premise of it, not to go and taking it too seriously. There was some gore to it and all, but there was one moment that it was just like, all right, well, that was a dumb thing to do. Oh my God. Like you would have never seen something so horrific like this coming. So yeah, it's, if you don't mind a ridiculous concept, as
You got to go in there with
Killer
That's my jam. Like any
Yeah,
campy horror
so-
movie, anything crazy, sign me up.
okay, another one I've been trying to get these guys to watch and all. Did you ever watch Scare Package?
Mm-mm.
Damn it, nobody ever heard of this fucking movie.
I watched the first half of the first one, and it's very goof and gore.
It's sort of a parody. It's a lighthearted shot at anthologies.
Oh, I love anthology. Okay, hold on. I'm writing it down. It's called Scare Package.
Yeah, and there was actually a sequel that came out last year or 2 years ago called Scare Package 2: Rad Chad's Revenge.
Oh my God, there's 2 of them too. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Right, I wrote them.
But yeah, if you're into, like I said, I guess it's considered a parody, but it's not like scary movie over the top,
Okay.
funny, but it definitely gets really silly. But then there's also a lot of blood in it too. So if you're into gore like that,
There's
then
a lot of gore.
if you like gore and giggles, then yeah, it's a fun watch.
How about what's your all-time? Do you have an all-time favorite kill
Just across the board.
across the board?
Oh my God, that I would have had to think about. Hold on. Oh my God, no. I can't say that one off the top of my head. I would have to think about that for a while because I feel like I would say one, and then in 20 minutes from now, when we're talking about something else, I'd be like, oh shit, actually.
So next time we'll get you back on.
I
You
have
can
to
let
think
me know.
about that one.
Okay, all right, that's a good one.
Yeah, because earlier this year we actually did a March Madness bracket where we had
wow.
64 kills, and we narrowed it down to the final one. And the one that ended up winning was actually the bone marrow in Saw X,
The leg kill, I think it was the first
where she
one.
has to suck the bone marrow out of it.
That one made me physically like cringe up in the movie
Yeah,
theater.
yeah.
the sound effects in the movie theater were unreal.
That was the good one. Yeah.
We had a couple Terrifiers in that thing, and for some reason, I guess it just had good pairings. But yeah, Jigsaw made it all the way to the end. And for anybody out there listening that this spoiled anything, well, fuck you. You should have been following us this
Yeah.
whole time.
Right.
Yeah, some of the other ones we had were the dance sequence in Suspiria.
You know, I just recently watched that one for the first time this year as well.
The remake.
I liked it. It was
Mia
good.
Goth, that one.
No, the original.
Okay.
Did you see the newer one from what,
I
20?
started watching it, but I think when I started watching it, like I wasn't giving it my full attention, so I ended up
Right.
shutting it off just for that reason only, no other reason.
Like the original is a great movie, but it's one of the few cases where I think I like the remake a little more.
I think I did too.
They definitely make a left turn at the end
Oh, it's way left turn.
from the original and all, but I don't know. There was something about that the remake that I actually liked.
And Dakota Johnson's in that one, right, with Mia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And
They did really well in the movie. I really enjoyed their performance.
Tilda Swinton, she's really good in it.
Okay.
Ah.
I'll get to it. I promise I'll get to it next time. I'll be like, yeah, guys, I watched the remake.
What's your favorite comfort movie for horror that you know that you might just go to it just because you want it on
What's a nice horror movie that you love so much it helps you go to sleep?
Can I give you 3?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, you typically sleep more than once.
What's that?
Cabin Fever.
Okay.
Halloween 3. And I want to say probably between Scream and Hellraiser for the last. I'll give them like an equal tie for the last one. Those ones I can, any time of day, any moment, I can always watch them. So
by Halloween 3, you meant Halloween Ends, right?
No, that is no.
Yeah, we know.
I mean,
No,
okay,
she meant the Pimp Daddy Tom
I
Atkins.
will give a little bit of respect to that one because when I did go to Flashback Weekend in August of this year, I rewatched it because James, Jude Courtney, and Rowan were there, and me and my friend were like, let's just watch in the hotel, whatever. I grew a little bit of respect for it because I do like how the 3 movies just tell a great story. I know Ends was probably not the strongest one of the 3, but I think it makes everything wrap up really well. So I have a newfound respect for it as of August.
I feel like they should have introduced Corey in the first one and built to him. Just introducing him in the third one to me just didn't feel right.
That is, yeah, I do agree with that.
I think that's
I take the first 2 over Ends any day, but
take what over it?
I think if someone was like, which of the 3 are your favorite, I wouldn't even think of Ends, honestly. But respectfully, I respect the movie. It's just kind of there. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I liked it was of all the big franchises, like for me, as much as I love Halloween, I would say that would rank, if I had to do like my top, 10 franchises, I mean, that would probably be in the lower half. As much as I love those movies, it's just there's others that I love a lot more. Whereas it seems like it's the diehard Halloween fans that are like, fuck that, this ruined my childhood and all that. I liked what they did. I just don't think, especially the Corey element, was the best thing to do for the final of a trilogy. But like Joe was saying, if they maybe just hinted at him existing and...
He had that look, Dave. He had that stare.
But we know you meant the original Halloween 3, obviously.
Yeah.
Where Tom Atkins meets a nice young woman and they're in bed like 20 minutes later. Because it's Tom Atkins.
He's such a nice...
He's kind of real for that. Like...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, especially in the 80s. He was pretty much a pimp in every movie he was in.
Can I just tell you, he's still a pimp. I've met him a couple times. He is still a pimp. He's killing all the ladies at these cons, I swear.
So yeah, Danny just met him.
We all met him. I think in March he was here.
Well, you definitely talked to him.
Yeah,
the most. And we just kind of hung out and
I know he's like I didn't realize how old he is, and he looks great for his age. And he, I know he was a little hard of hearing, and I didn't want to like talk too much. And but I just said, hey, I appreciate everything. I have all the respect for you. And then I have my daughter, she's a huge horror fan, and he grabbed onto her and taking a picture with all of us, the whole entire podcast group. But she was like, oh my God, he was such a nice guy, and he was asking her what her name was. And to me, that meant more to me than the conversation that I was trying to have with Tom. And he took the time just to talk with my daughter, and my daughter, to be honest with, like he's from an older time in regards to horror movies and such. But she was just like, I got to watch movies with him now. And for me, that made my day. That made me just appreciate him more. And I was just like, thank you for everything. So that made my day.
That's so cute. Oh my God. Yeah. I love when people bring their kids to the cons and they dress up as like the little Terrifier and the little Billy from Saw. It's so cute. And then it's like, start them young. Come on, bring them to the cons.
The best one I remember seeing, so you've seen Sleepaway Camp, right? So Felissa had on her, what was it, Instagram or Facebook or one of them?
I was actually at that show behind them in line, and then I knew it was coming close to a photo op, so I walked away, but apparently the people in front of me. But I remember standing in line, and there was a family. It was a couple and a little girl, probably like 2-3 years old. Nah, I guess maybe a little older.
3 or 4.
But she was really short.
Yeah.
But she had the t-shirt and the red short shorts on, and she was holding the curling iron. And they even did her hair. She had the bangs and everything. And I'm like, that's so cute. But for some reason it didn't register in the moment, because I know sometimes young kids, they have that oddball thing that they like to play with. So initially I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, maybe she just likes fiddling with a curling iron. It wasn't until later on that I realized, and I you know, I wasn't trying to talk or anything. I wasn't really looking, but had any glances, I just got this bitchy vibe from mom. Like the dad was just there, but the mom, she just oozed bitch. And it wasn't until later on that I realized she was wearing a hot pink shirt that said Judy on it.
Okay.
And then I looked at dad and I was like, oh shit. Like, no, she was just in character of playing Judy. And then that's when I realized the curling iron. Okay.
Like that moment of realization. You're like, okay, you're not just a bitch.
It was just one of those moments. Like as soon as it fully registered, it was like,
Yeah.
And then, when I got home that day, apparently Felissa loved that so much, she plastered like a dozen pictures of that family on her Instagram.
Yeah, when I see this little girl holding the curling iron, dressed up as her, I was like, okay, like that is adorable. And my kids are a lot older. I have a 22-year-old and a 17-year-old. So I never had that opportunity to take them to cons when I was a lot younger, and I would have loved to have taken them and dressed them up, and my wife would have been okay with it, so it's not really a problem. But I love how a lot of parents, they really get involved, and it's just like, I think that's the one thing that throws off some of the celebrities, because they're like, hey, you've seen this and you're this how old? and listen, I was 8 years old when I first saw Return of the Living Dead. That's my favorite horror movie, Return of the Living Dead. I remember seeing Linnea naked when I was 8 years old, and I was just like, So when I went to go meet her for the first time last year, I told her the story, and I was just like, you were my first boobs and bush on scene. And she was like, you're not the first.
And that was one of the cool things about her. It was just like, yeah, I was naked a lot in the 80s, and obviously that's where half my male fan base comes from.
And my wife's like, why would you say that? And I was like, because I think she would have respect to just the homage that this is from the 80s and such. But those are the types of things that I always love seeing as we go to conventions. I always like to take pictures of like, oh, that's a great costume and such when we're there, because they take a lot of people take a lot of time to do that and dress up, and they put a lot of effort into it. And I think when they have the costumes, right, the costume competitions and such, they are so awesome. Some things you're like, that's a winner. Love it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Let me show you something I have somewhere over here. Because you guys know how I think Trick or Treat just came out with the prop, the Ash chainsaw prop.
Okay.
The big one. I bought this. This took me a week to make. This is my own prop chainsaw hand that I made.
Okay.
And a year later they come out with a fully, better one than this little piece of crap. But
exact replica.
It's personal to me because I made it. It's my first cosplay prop. So take that, Trick Studios.
I made one a couple years ago. Well, shit, at this point it was probably like 15 years ago. And other than I think I used more red on the body of it, like that's pretty much how mine turned out too. So and there is something special. It's still in my garage. Like up on the shelf.
Fun. It's fun to when people come up to cons and take pictures. It's like so cool. It's amazing.
And that's do you do the cosplay thing at those much, or?
I've been doing it more and more, just if I can do it, or if there's somebody at the con that I can match up with. So
okay, I was going to ask, like, do you shoot for like specific characters, or
that's more
or do you do more like a generic? Because I know every con, it's just like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something. Then as it gets closer, I'm like, maybe I'll just do some generic wounds on my face or something. And then I wake up the morning of, and it's like, I'd rather just sit an extra hour and enjoy my coffee, and then and then I just show up. Then I get there and see everyone dressed up, and it's like, I should have just strapped on a pair and actually did what I intended to in the first place.
I agree.
You're a huge Evil Dead fan?
I don't want to say huge. Like, I'm a fan and I respect the movies, but not like the same level of Scream that I have. Just because I watched Scream younger and before Evil Dead. However, I still will always be sat for the movies. I love Ash. So I want to say like I'm in between like love and hate, if that makes sense.
No, I definitely get that. What was your feelings on the remake that came out with
With Jane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that one. I love that one, and I love Rise so much. Well, okay, you know what? I'm gonna retract my answer and say that I do love the franchise, because now that I'm talking about it, I love every single movie, so I can't even say that I don't love the franchise. So I do. I will say that I do.
Yeah, I think that was our favorite when you go back to remakes.
Mhm.
If you can, I guess if you consider that a remake, I thought that was phenomenal. That movie with Jane. I love this story, the gore. It was there were so many different elements of it. Fetty did such a wonderful job with that movie, and
I agree.
And Evil Dead Rise, we were so hyped for that last year.
Best title card in a movie ever.
Yes.
Yes. Like without yes.
Yeah, Rise. Like I could have walked out after that opening scene. I'm like, there's no way this could possibly get any better than just seeing that epic title card on screen.
And then it did when Alyssa Sutherland was coming out of the bathtub.
Yes.
Sickening.
When we actually met her last August, I think Joe and I did.
That was like right after the movie came out too, right?
Right. I think it was about a couple months after, and at the con we go. So number one, she's very awesome. She's very like down to earth. It was great talking with her and meeting with her. But they had a mashup of Ellie with Reagan like in a chokehold, and the mashup was like very cartoonish of them. And I went and took her to get it signed, and she goes, "What do you want to say on it?" And at the time, my daughter was a big fan. She saw the movie, and I was like, okay. She actually went to Florida, so she got a pass. That she went to Florida at the last minute to go to my in-laws for a couple weeks, and she couldn't be here for it. So she's like, I need you to meet her, and I need you to give me an autograph. So I got this picture, and I said, can you put to Bella, your mother sucks maggots in hell? And she says, she stopped and she looked at me and she goes, are you married? And I said, yes, because I was telling her all the story about my daughter, wish she could be here. And she goes, okay. I don't think so, because I prefer you to be alive when you go home and show this to your wife and kid.
Oh my God.
So I said, because it was like, obviously The Exorcist is the rift in the whole entire picture in the matchup. And that's why I was like, all right, forget it. Just put that quote in there, and then we'll do another one. It was like Scooby-Doo with her in the corner of the shower, like looking down on Scooby-Doo, and they're like jetting the other way.
That's so cool.
So I ended up getting that done, but I remember she stopped me and she goes, are you married? Because I don't think I can write this to your mother sucks maggots in hell if this is your kid's name up here. And I said, you know what? Good point. I really wasn't thinking of it that way, but she was great. Even in Vikings, I remember watching that show and enjoying her in that. I mean, she was a real, nasty queen in that one. But overall, I thought she was pretty awesome to me. And I really loved Evil Dead Rise.
I wonder, I was just going to say, maybe some of those posters, we should like post them, but why do I get the feeling that guy would be like, scouring the internet and like,
I don't think he makes his way down to Florida. I'll have to send him.
Yeah, there's all the cons up here. There's this guy that shows up and he's just got bins and bins of these paintings, and he'll take two different characters from like, completely different things, and he'll find an excuse to throw them together. Actually, the one I think we all got the same ones this year, right?
Yeah.
Felissa with Jason.
Oh yeah, so they had Angela with Jason on the ground, and she with the face and getting ready to stab him. And it's like they're really cool, really funny, but they're kind of adorable in the way. A lot of the ones they do.
Love that. I love the mashups. Like Freddy vs. Jason is another one of my favorite all-time movies. Like any mashups. Stop! How cute is that? Oh my God, that is so cute.
And the other one we got, it was player 2 and 3 from Stream, because you know how they're siblings. It was the two of them on Family Feud. Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
And they carved in the Steve
really
Harvey. Yeah.
So I got the whole entire Streamcast. They basically signed this and such.
Wow, he should come to Florida. I feel like the Florida cons would eat him up. They would love that.
Yeah, it's and it seems like more and more, like since that movie came out, like the more things we go to, the more cosplayers you see, the more like t-shirts and shit of apparently it's getting more and more love as time goes on. So
Terrifier with Miss Piggy with the hacksaw, and it's just things like that.
Miss Piggy, that's so cute. Oh my God.
Yeah. So those are our fun things that we like to get, and I get those signed, and I'll get like 8x10s, but those are the fun ones. I'm like, okay, this is a good one to get signed for this event, and to keep it fun.
Yeah.
It's just I wish I had enough room down here.
I have posters like this. I start projects and I don't finish them. So I have this one. I have my ghost face that I haven't finished. There's my Matthew Lillard heart. So I start projects and I don't finish them.
So wait, projects is in you're forging those autographs? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Allegedly.
What's your favorite possession?
It's hard because, then sometimes they'll cancel cons. Sometimes, you can't meet certain people. So it's like, I'm like, this is a great idea. It looks so great, fully signed. My Lost Boys is not complete. My Cabin Fever's not complete. But it's not my own fault,
And sometimes it's hard to get everybody all together to come to those events. I know I can't wait. I think 40th year anniversary for Return of the Living Dead is next year. We just had Tom Matthews on, who plays Freddy in Return of the Living Dead, but he also plays Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 6 and Never Hike Alone. I don't know if you ever saw those on YouTube. But he came on and we were just talking.
That's on my watch list. I've heard great.
It's fun. They are all really good, and they really, it's very cool for the budget that they had and what they did for Never Hike Alone, and it's good to bring back Jason in a fan favorite way. But when we had him on, I'm like, I hope you come to Jersey, and the whole entire cast for Return of the Living Dead is coming, because I've only met like 3 or 4 of you, so I'm ready to rock out and spend all that money on getting everything signed.
Actually, so you said you're
all still alive?
Yes, except for Don Calfa, James Karen, and Clue Kruger.
I always tongue tie his name, so
yeah. So those 3 have passed, but the rest of the cast is still out there, and they're still alive. In fact, I think they were doing Trash's Revenge, which was they were trying to get crowdfunded. Indiegogo was out there trying to fund it for Linnea to kind of get the crew back and have a Return of the Living Dead universe movie where it would reintroduce all those characters playing a different role. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
So you said your Lost Boys is incomplete. I don't know who you're missing, but I'm sure if you bought a ticket to one of Feldman's concerts, he'll sign anything you want. I don't know if he's one of the ones you're missing. But if you would actually show up to watch him play music,
and he's the only one that signed for the poster. He's a gem. Okay. He was at Spookala, one of the Spookala shows, the earlier ones. He had about 5 bodyguards with him every single time. Keep in mind, at the time, Spookala was a little bit smaller than it is. Not a lot of people. And then he did his performance. After that was an experience in itself. But he signed super big on the poster, and he's the only one.
So was this like the Michael Jackson show or the guitar solo show? Like what phase was this?
Definitely Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Something major Michael Jackson from it for sure. Yeah. That was cool. It was like a fever dream. That's how I explain it. Like that whole thing was just a fever dream.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go to check it out, but just because he's so viral now, and it's like it's the original Tommy Jarvis. I mean, you got to give him some credit. He may seem a little unconventional these days, but he did some great things.
Is there
and I mean, he was very nice to me. I mean, I was nice to him, but he was nice to me. So I have to take that.
Is there any prize? Like, what's your favorite item? Is there one particular item that you have?
What's your crown jewel of your collection?
Oh my God. Can it be anything?
Anything.
As long as it's legal.
I think between these two, because I have an obsession with Japanese horror collectibles. So this, I bought, it's a Japanese Hellraiser VHS.
Ooh.
I love this. And then this one is the Japanese Laserdisc for Scream.
Oh.
So any Japanese collectibles, like this is a Japanese Hellraiser poster.
I saw that.
Collectibles, my favorite things ever. I just think they're better. They're just better.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah. So some of the, I mean, across the board, but it does definitely seem like the Japanese ones are better. But yeah, a lot of like overseas movie posters are pretty fucking sweet.
And they're rare at times too.
Well, yeah, because everyone bought them and kept them. Where here we just resell everything.
Yeah, and reprint everything.
Us filthy Americans.
Is there anybody on your bucket list you still want to eventually meet? Like who's at your top of your list? Like, I need to meet him now.
I'll give you two because Bruce Campbell and Tobin Bell are equal for me.
Okay.
I mean, but Spookala has coming next year, so maybe I can cross him off if he comes. So yeah, really just those two. Oh, I guess Ashley Lawrence too. So those are my top three.
And I can't wait for her to, you eventually meet her. She's such a sweetheart. She is so nice, so kind, very reserved, very shy as well.
Didn't you say,
because told me that though, she's reserved. I don't want to scare her like I did.
Ashley, you're amazing.
I think I'm lagging when I say things.
Because I missed it. Didn't you say she was pretty quiet at the Q&A as well?
Yeah, we stayed for the Q&A. They had a whole Hellraiser cast Q&A, and she didn't really speak much. But but the rest of the crew, it's different at Monster Mania. It's at a hotel, and like you said, you're getting in elevators with them. We most of the times we met in the morning, so we were there all weekend for like 24 hours, and we're in the cafe, and Henry Winkler's coming up. You got William Shatner's walking by you. All the Cenobites, they're like 40 years later. And they're all gathered like right outside of the cafe and like having coffee, and it's just a different feel that you have with them, and you get to see them. But
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there are more casual encounters at the hotel cons, as opposed to the big warehouses.
Most definitely,
for sure. I prefer the hotel ones if I can get to them.
The New Jersey cons, the one they have a New Jersey Expo Center up in North Jersey. That's also awesome too. That's very intimate because you're walking in the hallways. They're going to vendors, and it's very like low key in a small area. That you're like waiting in line with Alex Vincent, to buy juicy fruit or whatever.
to buy some fudge.
Right, but I think we were just the cop from Friday the 13th, the first Friday the 13th, who interjects with Kevin Bacon in the first one. He's like walking by, and I was just like, so you going up to Blairstown this weekend? He's like, I don't know. What's going on in Blairstown? Oh, it's Friday the 13th. He's like, I was there a couple times over the past 40 years, and it's just,
risk it if you're going this time.
Going this time. And we were it's just great to have those casual conversations with those folks. And it's a lot easier. You don't have to pay. They're like, I don't really care. I'm glad that you're here to see me or even talk to me. And I think that was the same thing with Revenge of the Nerds. Revenge of the Nerds was there this past year too with the horror group, and it was just, these are icons like of iconic comedy, coming of age, college groups that we saw growing up, and then you're sharing a urinal with them. It's just it's different in Jersey. I'll just say it that way. But I think that's the coolest thing about going to conventions and having that intimate, opportunities to talk with them, just shooting the shit out of nowhere. So
exactly.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that one I got to cross the streams with Phil Falcone and CJ Graham. Just a couple of guys standing in the urinal. I walk into the bathroom and then I just happen to look over and I'm like, that's fucking Jason. I'm pissing with Jason. I'm like, I don't even need an autograph. How many people have this story? Probably half the people in that hotel, but whatever. Let me have my fantasy.
So you have a lot of horror tattoos?
I have a couple, but it's just basically all my tattoos are horror. So
okay. Yeah.
I have Addams Family, Gizmo, Matthew Lillard's tattooed on my leg now forever. I have the Lost Boys, Bridge City. And this one actually, this number 22, Billy Worth actually drew for me because I never got to meet Brooke McCarter. So, and I told Billy when I first met him, Paul's my fave, you and Paul, like I love you guys together. And I know they were friends in real life. So, I was talking to him. He gave me, he pulled out of his backpack like a little keychain that has like basically a picture of Brooke on it. And on the other side is Paul. And he was like, it's so great, that you would tell me that. Like he was my best friend, such a great guy. So he wrote this 22 because he was born on the 22nd and died on the 22nd. So he didn't write it on my arm, he wrote it on an autograph, but I got it tattooed and I showed him and he was just, so appreciative of it.
Oh, that's so awesome.
One of my faves.
It sucks. You just told this sweet story, and yet I have stuck in my head that for a split second I thought you were going to say you had Matthew Lillard on like a butt cheek or something. You had that split second pause, and I'm like, she got him on her ass. Oh Jesus.
No, it's actually on my leg, and it's like literally humongous. It's his literal face, and then it's ghost face. And then when I showed him, he was like, oh my God, I'm on your leg. I was like, yeah, you're on my leg.
How many times have you met him?
Oh my God. I think
this year 12.
I think like 6. I think I'm at time number 6, but that's since like 2021. Because the first time I met him was actually at Texas Frightmare. I flew there for him.
Okay.
So yeah, 6 times. Yeah. It's been great. It's been a great experience every single time. He's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what he's been to Jersey once or twice, and he even stayed late at Monster Mania because I think they got there late, and he stayed until like midnight. Him and Skeet. The one time they were there with Arquette, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome for them to interact like that with their fans, and stay late for them if they, even if they got late on them. We're at time.
What is it?
We're at 9.
All right, cut. See you guys later. Bye.
We out.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we can go on. I just don't want to, hold up your schedule and such. So
I don't know. This has been really fun.
But we'll have to.
I think my computer's overheating and it's lagging now because every time I talk, I think it delays to you guys.
All right, then we definitely don't want to blow up your shit. But see, now this was a fun trial run.
Thank you guys for thinking of me. Like, this is just so cool.
And I do appreciate that. I know I'm a random out of nowhere, but I think that's cool with the horror fans, is that we're trying to engage, hear other people's opinions. I mean, we respect them. It's good to engage with other people, different content in different ways, and promote good people out there as well.
Oh, for sure. I'm all about promoting the good people and the genuine people and the people that aren't pieces of shit. So I agree.
And us. Yeah, again, if there's ever a topic you want to riff on or whatever, we have another guy that pops on once in a while, but he recently got married, so he's literally in the honeymoon phase, so we're trying not to bother him too much. And this guy's like a fucking encyclopedia.
I would love to speak with him. So whenever you get him on, let me know.
All right.
Okay. Is there, and also too, if for serious, we try to get people's input to do hey, can you do an episode on this? If you like a movie and you're I want to hear your opinions about this movie, let me know, message us, and say, hey, can you guys talk about this, or have you seen this, or maybe something to talk about? We just want to engage with people out there that want to listen to the podcast too, and maybe hear, hey, what's your top 5 of this, or low 5 of that, or review this movie, something. We're just looking to get some feedback. So if you have anything, let us know. If you know what fans more would listen to, or listeners would like to listen to more.
I do actually have a request if you guys haven't done it yet. Can you do a Eli Roth, your opinion on all of his movies? That type of episode? I would love that.
I feel for about a year now, we've been talking about doing either a director or an actor with a good enough, list of credits there, but, kind of doing a retrospective on a person and all their work. Mm-hmm. We came really close to diving in, and we were going to start off with Wes Craven. But yeah, now that you bring it up, yeah, I would be curious. Because I know I've seen a bunch of Eli stuff, but I'm a huge fan of Hostel, so I keep forgetting he had other great things out there. Yes. So, but yes, that's good to know that somebody's pushing for something like that, a deep dive on somebody specific.
Yeah. Or honestly, Jordan Peele, he's one of my faves. I just don't know how long that episode could be, because I feel he doesn't have a huge filmography right now.
Rank his 3 movies.
Oh my God. Okay, so actually rank them?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna put Nope last, even though I still like that movie. I think Us is gonna have to take first and then Get Out second. That's my ranking.
There you go.
Do you guys
I love Us. I think Us is phenomenal.
Yeah, see, I haven't even bothered with the other 2 because I liked Get Out so much. I'm almost afraid, even though I hear so much great things about Us, I'm just afraid if I continue watching his stuff, he's going to let me down one day. Because I thought Get Out was such a great movie.
Yeah, when you turn Nope on.
Yeah. Well, from the way you guys are talking, yeah, I'm probably, unless we have to talk about his movies.
Joe, I think you need to go back and watch it for research purposes.
I will.
All right. Okay.
I saw it in IMAX originally, so.
And that's supposed to be.
It was fun. I mean, I don't dislike Nope. It's just, I absolutely love Us.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah. I think Nope for me took a couple of watches, just like Longlegs did. But after that, I appreciated it. Wasn't my fave.
Okay.
He has better ones, but I appreciate it.
Because we got homework to do.
Because yeah, we're always like spitballing ideas and all, but it's like, what do people actually want to hear? Like we could always come up with ideas on things to do, but yeah, so it's good to hear like.
I think Scream also, I think Scream always gets attention and viewers because it's just always such a hot topic. I've realized in the last couple of years. So if you guys did like your Scream movie rankings even, I think that would be a good one too.
No, but Sam, we do appreciate your time and coming on. And like I said, thank you so much for responding. And, we're looking to engage more in 2025 with collaborating with other listeners. We do a lot of interviews. This man over here, he's been a gem so far. So
yeah, well, no, seriously, thank you guys, because I've never done this before, and it was so fun, and I love talking horror with horror fans. So if you guys ever want to have me back, you know where to find me.
You come back with this passion, yeah. Like we're again, the more the merrier. And anytime we have someone that's a huge enough fan of the genre that just wants to like riff about whatever. And yes, a lot of times we do actually discuss topics. But are you into singing at all?
Oh, I was going to say that karaoke. I forgot to ask that.
Yeah, I forgot. We do randomly burst into song on some episodes. No rhyme or reason. We're not good at it. But just saying, if you're at least a fan of it, maybe a girls' night out at the bar and you grab a microphone.
Yes.
Okay. As long as you're willing to do that much. Not saying it's a guarantee, but if it starts, you're welcome to join in.
And we go on tangents. We do eventually make our way back to the point, but we definitely go on tangents.
So, all right then.
No, I love that because me personally, we sit back so much that I could deter the point. So you guys got back to all points very well. So thank you.
Sometimes it was a half hour later, but we pulled it off. So, all right. Well, it's been awesome. Looking forward to having you back. Maybe when we get to the point, like we get caught up on getting through the holidays and all that shit, maybe we could look into the whole Eli thing and maybe get your 2 cents on that as well. Since it sounds like you might like 1 or 2 of his movies.
I don't know if you guys saw my shirt, but it actually says written and directed by Rob.
Yes.
I did not. But then again, I'm old, so I just saw like these. I can't even. Is that red or orange?
It's red.
Okay. I saw something in that general range of the spectrum, just like these 2 lines.
He's also on an angle over here, so
okay.
We're still making upgrades. We got
No, I mean no. See, your eyes are up there. I had no idea there was even I don't know. I'm making this up as I go. All right, well, yes. We're going for real this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. We appreciate your time.
Everybody out there,
bye guys.
Check out OddSam if you aren't already.
See ya.
You've been listening to What an Excellent Day for a Podcast, where we use the number 4 to save you time. Check out our entire catalog at excellentdayforapodcast.com. Also on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Have a question? Email us at excellentdayforapodcast@gmail.com.
But guys, I want to interact on social media.
Excellent.
See what we did there?
Follow us on Twitter at excellentday4a. Otherwise, search for What an Excellent Day for a Podcast to get our Facebook page, our group page, Instagram, YouTube, and our newly launched Twitch channel. Come say hello, share them all,